What's going on, people? The topic today we're going to talk about is uh, does speaking one language leads to nationalism, or what is an official language? So, uh, I think that the answer to the first question is yes or no, because if you speak one language, sometimes encourages nationalism a lot. How does it encourage nationalism? Because basically, you some people won't allow like to interact with outsiders, and you won't be able to interact with outsiders, people from different countries like Spanish, French, whatever. If you don't speak some of these language, then it's very hard for you to communicate with different people, and that's what make you just, you know what I mean, you might live in a locked area that where you don't want to allow outsider to come and communicate with you, and that leads to a lot of nationalism, because there is a difference between nationalism and patriotism. Yeah, patriotism, I think, is that you have to be, you should be a patriot to whatever land or place that you live in, and you encourage building it up and making it suit your life, so it suits your living. So so what is an official language? I think back in the day, they're saying, I don't know what year it was, but there was never really been one language as an official language of a country or a nation. Long time ago, people use like in the in the Roman Empire, they might use Latin, but there's a lot of different people that speak different languages within the same thing. As still today, it's been happening the same thing, but it means like a lot of countries that speak, yeah, speak many different dialects, speak many different language, but they still use one language as an official language. But I think if you think of it like an official language in Africa right now, most of them, they use kind of language that is actually exoglossic. They use an exoglossic language. How they use an exoglossic? Because I think many African countries and Asian countries, they kind of took, you know, English or French as an official language, and then they use other indigenous language that in there, but they don't really take it. They don't really made it as an official language of the country. But some countries that have about one or two, three languages as an official. Like for example, Canada's got French and English, but then if you look at Switzerland, Switzerland's got like more than four languages as an official language that they speak with. Like they've got Italian, German. They've got another two language. If you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not really sure what's the other one, but yeah, they use about four languages in Switzerland. So, so when it comes to languages, like if you have one language in your brain, I'm not saying that you're kind of stupid or smart, but it's like sometimes it makes the person a little bit in their head. Sometimes they won't really tend to communicate with the rest of the people, and you won't tend to communicate unless you want to stay on that land forever until you pass away. Because if you try to go overseas, you want to go on a holiday or any other places, people I'll have to encourage. I'll have to. I think people should speak other language, because you'll have a better life. You'll have a better life. Like, if you're speaking two languages or three, that would help you. That you would have a better jobs. You'll have a better job opportunities, and also culture-wise, you get to know different people. The one that would speak different language, but there's one thing here as really weird about people. You know, some people, I've noticed some people, they won't really accept any other form of language. If they speak one language, when they see someone else speak another language, they will be like, I mean, they might not say something about it, but they'll feel a little bit like kind of like they don't want to accept that, and they're worried about the situation. Why can't you speak that? Why don't you speak this? Why don't you speak this? But and the first, guys, you have to understand that we're human first. Language is just a way to communicate with other people. But so what? If I want to speak uh, English, so what? I speak English. So if I want to speak Arabic, so what? If you take it seriously, no, you just have to speak this one language. That would be a bit of a problem. That would encourage a lot of nationalism, right? And that would be a bit destructive to different land. But also, what one of the advantages of speaking two or more languages is that basically is a good for national security, whether it's in your home or in a country that you live in or anything like that. Also in trades, it's very good to trade with different nations. Like for example, a lot of people nowadays trade with China and India, but I think India speak English anyway, but Chinese people speak Mandarin or Chinese language. So there's a lot more. I think Chinese people speak English than people who speak English speak Chinese, and that would have given advantage to Chinese people uh, of knowing your language and know how to communicate with you. And that would be like as what I said, like in a national security level, is that when you speak somebody else's language, you know what they up to. You know what they if they up to good, if they up to no good, you will know. You know what is happening, what is going on. Also, also, if you look at the languages, guys, is that kind of a like sometimes if you look at some words in the language, yeah, in any language that I speak, some words that actually sound it's a bit similar. Some words that have been borrowed from outside, like in English, for example. If you look at the most of the word that we speak with today, because I know the word the the way we speak is changed throughout the day, but in the old English, if you speak, I think it sounded more Germanic because if I said the word want, I want is Germanic origin. Also, the word like is Germanic origin. A lot of words. If you go back there, is actually most of the little, uh, most of the little words that we speak about the average man in the street to speak with, they're all most of them are Germanic. Like the word alcohol itself is Arabic. So a lot of words that has been borrowed from outside. Mathematic, quote me if I'm wrong. I think is Latin or Greek. So a lot of words has been borrowed from outside. So that's why you guys have to understand. Speaking what language, I'm not saying it's terrible, but is sometimes somebody that will speak another two or three or more languages has an advantage in order to to communicate with all human beings around the world, right? So you should be some countries exoglottic, some countries endoglottic. You know, uh, like if you look at in the UK here, like more than 60 or 65% of people that want that they don't speak it. They speak only one language, which is English. But the rest of them, about 30 or 35, they speak. They have one. They speak two languages or more. Right. So that means the more you speak different languages, the more you be opening up to different doors, opening up to a different world, that world of nicer things, and also communicate and more safety and stuff like that. So you have to understand, folks. Most of the things that I've been speaking about right now is completely true. You have to check it out for yourself. So we have to know that speaking what language uh, sometimes it leads to nationalism or something. But if you speak more languages and you have more languages in your brain, it gives you more opportunities to interact, communicate, and trade with other different people. With that being said, folks, peace and love, family.